Alright, this is Yes He Lives, song by Hannah Hobbs in the key of B flat, and the tempo is usually just right around 74 BPMs when we play it in church. And the overall tone for the song is just like really high gain and really fun. You're kind of pedaling pretty much the whole song, so you definitely want some delay, but maybe not like a ton. If as you're kind of hitting the same note over and over again, if the delays start to get all wonky, maybe just tone that down a little bit. That's kind of what I did with my presets. But anyways, yeah, we'll get right into the tutorial. So the main shape that you're in throughout the majority of the song is kind of just using two strings and just like 2 or 3 fingers on the 8th fret of the D string with my ring finger, and the 7th fret of the G string with my middle finger. And you're kind of just making that B flat, take some gain off, that B flat chord there, basically that shape. And you're bouncing back and forth between this and this, which I'm using my pointer finger to hit the 5th fret on the G string. So it's, and you're just going back and forth between that. I'm doing it with a lot more gain, so it'll sound more like this. But I'll just take that off so you can hear it clearly. So you're basically doing kind of like a pattern similar to this. I'll play it and I'll just try to break it down as best I can. So I'm doing like one pull off or hammer on, or however you want to call it, and then hitting it a few more times there. And if you want, you could even do, and then do, start hitting the G twice to the D string. But it's a lot to think about if you are trying to do that the whole time. But that's the gist of it. So you're kind of doing that for the intro and verse 1 and 2 the whole way through. And I'm palm muting it a little bit, so I'm keeping my palm there to kind of tighten up that sound. So yeah, you're doing that all the way through verse 2. Once you get to the first chorus, you switch it up, same sort of picking style and pattern, but just different notes. So you're doing the 8th fret on both strings, going down to the 7th on the G. So you're doing that, and then you're sliding up to the 10th fret on the G string. So you basically never really move the D string all that much, aside from the very end of the choruses, and I'll explain that. But so you get into the chorus, and it's you do that twice, then you go back to the, but this iteration is going from the 5 to the 7. So it's a little different from the, you're going the opposite way, but same idea. So altogether, that chorus line goes like this, and you do it twice. And I'll also note that like the finger movement is kind of tricky. You have to be pretty quick with your fingers just moving into those positions, but with practice you'll get it, and you'll probably have your own way of doing it which feels the most comfortable, if it's like moving your pinky out or changing your fingers so that you can slide the other one up. Whatever works for you. There's no right or wrong. But so yeah, that chorus goes like this. You do that twice. That goes into, so the very end of the chorus, so you're doing this part. You slide the D string down to the 7th. And that's just like, feels kind of like it gives like a finality. And then for that vamp right after the first chorus, you're going right back into the same intro. Same thing. And then verse 3 and 4 is a little different. So then after that vamp, you kind of fade out the G and just start pedaling on the D. So you're on that B flat, on the 1 there basically. You're just kind of pedaling there, so it's the 8th fret on the D string. And then at the end of like each phrase, you do this little, which goes from, you kind of go down to the 7th fret, hammer onto the 8th, and then hit the 10th fret on the G. So I do that a couple times just throughout those verses, and you'll hear it in the playthrough, like where it is. It's just kind of like at the end of the phrase. We do one tag usually at the end of that verse 4, so I'll do it again. And then that brings us into chorus 2. And chorus 2 is a bit bigger, so I'll kick on just kind of like a bigger gain stage with a little more reverb. And so instead of doing you're kind of doing more, I don't know, bigger strumming, whole notes kind of stuff. So I have my pinky and ring finger on the 8th fret of the D and G, and then the 6th fret of the B and E with my pointer finger. And that's kind of like one structure that I'm playing. And then the only other one is I move the G string down to the 7th. So I'm kind of just hitting and basically doing that the whole time. And I usually like do the chorus 2 a bit more of that like palm muty style. And then the bigger last chorus, I'll do more just kind of open strumming. And just let it ring out. So yeah, that's really simple. It's just basically bouncing between those two variations. And then at the very end of the choruses, going to the interlude or bridge reprise or whatever, I slide up my pinky and ring finger to the 10th fret. Again, just to kind of bridge the gap in between those two parts and lead into the interlude. And so the interlude is where things kind of break down. So I'll take some of the gain off. And you're doing a little bit of like a picking pattern. So it's the 7th fret on the D and 7th fret on the G, 8th on the D. And you're just moving up the scale a little bit. So starting here, and then going up to the 8th on both. And then 10th to the 12th. You do that a bunch of times, just kind of building with the dynamics of the song through the interludes and bridges. Same thing for the bridge, and then we go right into that big chorus 3 from there. And sometimes there's like a break. It just depends on how you play it. But I just go back into that big gain stage, and that's the same thing as chorus 2. And then from there we go into usually a big like bridge reprise, which I'll keep a lot of gain on. And this one's the same idea as that, but we're just doing it up here on the 10th fret of the E string and the G. And then we just slide them, we keep sliding up the neck a little bit. So from the 10th fret, I'll slide on the G to the 12th and slide the E up to the 11th. So I really like to accent that slide. It just sounds good to me, so I just try to do that. And then from there we slide up again to the 15th fret on the G. and 13th on the E. And then it goes 15 on both. And then you just go down. Down all the way. And again, the finger placement and structure changes, so whatever feels more comfortable to you is what I'd recommend. But that altogether sounds like this. Do that twice, I believe, and then that's it. Then I kind of just let that fade out. And I'm quiet for like the last chorus or last bridge, whatever you end on. That's it. So I'll play it all through just to hear what it sounds like in context.